That's right. That's right. We had to add a warning disclaimer for my buddy here, our guest, Nick Bodkins. How's it going, Nick? How you doing, bud?
What's up? You write the rules and I break them, baby.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I was like, it's by the way, it's just a joke for my viewers out there. It's just a joke that I don't care, but I just thought it was funny because Nick's got a little reputation of being a little colorful with the language, sort of say or whatever, and so point taken. He wore that DX shirt, and it's a great tribute to that. So as he said, I write the rules, he breaks them. So what's up, man? How's it going? You enjoying your day so far, man?
Oh man, it's been great. It's it's summertime. It's July. We had a good 4th. Great Money in the Bank on Saturday. We've had some good wrestling. I mean, weekend before that, holy crap! The Forbidden Door pay-per-view was incredible. Man, so it's a good time of the year, right? Like, and this is a perfect time for a wrestling fan because every other sport is dead in the water right now,
right?
Outside of wrestling and UFC is getting ready to have their big pay-per-view this weekend. But outside of that, like, we got baseball, but other than that, baseball goes on every day, so you don't even have to pay attention just, every day. So like, it's a good time for a wrestling fan, and because it is summer and this is dead in the water, so it's wrestling's time to shine. And I mean, both whatever promotion you follow, whether it's even NJPW, AEW and WWE are killing it right now.
Yeah, exactly. No, I 100%. What let's talk really quick, I guess, in order from the last time, because it's been a minute since I've been on this program due to me being over there in Mexico and stuff like that. So let me ask you, what were your thoughts on Forbidden Door? What were like your highlights, things that you liked, things that you didn't like from Forbidden Door? Let's start from there.
Oh man, if you're a wrestling fan, even if you're not an AEW fan, if you don't go back and watch Omega and Ospreay wrestle, if you're any fan, like, you don't even have to, like, if I was somebody who said, hey, I've never watched wrestling before, what's a match I should watch? I might put that one on for them because that match had everything. It was incredible. I mean, I thought Omega was done at least 8 times, and how about he doesn't even? There's not even a one kick out of the one-winged angel that Ospreay did. That match was incredible. Then you had the absolute cool down match with Sting and Jericho and that bunch. And then you had the Danielson Okada match, which was incredible as well. And
great.
Then you find out, oh, by the way, Bryan Danielson broke his freaking arm like 8 minutes into that match and had to wrestle, 15 minutes of, with a broken arm. So it's that pay-per-view with top to bottom was really good. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that I thought was pretty much like, you could call it, you know what I mean? You could see the finish just come in, or maybe not the exact finish, but you could kind of see who was going to win based on this.
In a way? Like a little predictable or something like that?
Yeah. But I mean, the matches itself were great, but in hindsight, you kind of knew, like, going in, like, obviously you knew Jungle Boy was going to lose. I'd like to see him he did turn heel, but I'd like to see him just like, I was talking to our buddy, Mr. First Down on our show even, and I said, I would have liked to seen him, like, just absolutely beat up Hook and then, like, beat up Taz, like Taz leaving the announce table. Why didn't they do the angle where he beats Taz up at the end? You know what I mean? Like,
add some more heat to him. Like it would add more heat to his character.
Yes, because Jungle Boy's not great on the microphone, and now he doesn't have Christian Cage there talking for him either. It's something that he's got to get through, and so why not put as massive amount of heat on, on Jungle Boy? And there's just, you beat up Hook real bad. Let's say you throw a table. Like, all you did was really just kind of clothesline him a little bit, like. Put him through a table and then put Taz through a table on top of him or something.
Make it a beatdown. Make it a beatdown. Make the
and
audience really. Sorry, go ahead.
And it books Jungle Boy even stronger, right? Like, that makes Jungle Boy. You beat up Taz. Like, how many people can say they beat up a legendary wrestler like Taz? Would have gave him a little bit more heat, which I would have enjoyed. But other than that, man, like that, I didn't really have any like problems or like issues with Forbidden Door. I thought top to bottom that card was incredible.
It was. I agree with you. I really enjoyed my match of the night had to have been how do you call it? Omega Osprey match. That was a legendary.
Yeah.
One of my top favorite matches that I've seen in a long time. And my only, honestly, dude, and this is just me being picky here and there. I think the only thing that kind of bugged me as a person was a Tiger Driver that Omega took that landed on his neck. I'm like, oh, bro, you don't need to be doing that. Like, that to me, I was like, this was already a great match. You don't need to be doing stuff like that. Like, I get it. They're going for the shock value. I get it. And don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to like say a dog down on AEW. I thought that whole pay-per-view was amazing. But to me, I was like, dude, you don't need to be doing that. Like, I want to see more Omega. And right there, you're almost like you're playing with fate right there. You're playing with that edge of, hey, I want to make this for shock value, but at the same time, I'm really literally almost risking my neck for this particular move, the Tiger Driver 91. I was like, that to me, when I saw it, I was like, I get it. It looks like an awesome move, but man, you're this close to like paralyzing yourself. You know what I mean? That to me, I was like, all right, you don't need to be doing that, bro. Like, you really don't need to be doing that. And that's just my thoughts on it. Yeah,
I'm to match on that match. So we've been hearing them, right, like about this Omega, the bout machine, and everything like that. I have not personally seen that match, in AEW, like you in NJPW. Yeah, he was putting on those type of matches, but since he come to AEW, whether it been the injuries and things like that, you hadn't quite seen, like, he's been in some really great matches. Him and Hangman's matches were incredible. But that match took it to another level. You're like, oh, that's the Omega that had all the hype, 3 years ago when they came here, right? When they brought in AEW, when they brought AEW to, when they pretty much started it, I guess. That's the Omega we've been wanting to see, and by God, he still got it. And so Ospreay's going to be doing this for years to come, and he's still young. And shout out to Jim Behringer. He thinks that that third match is going to happen at Wembley at All In, or the third match there.
Yeah, and also shout out to the AEW, man. There, how many tickets did it say? 75,000 sold so far in Wembley.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. That's huge for AEW. Like that's
huge for any wrestling promotion.
Any
right?
wrestling, yeah. That's WrestleMania, almost like WrestleMania level ticket sales, if you think about it,
and not one match has even been announced.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good. I think that now you're starting to see a little competition. And honestly, on the WWE side, I was talking to my buddy today on the way back from the Astros game. We were talking about how a little bit of competition is I think is what WWE needed, because you've seen the WWE product now has, I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I've seen a big change in WWE product as of late. Like, I've seen them have these storylines that are now like, oh, this is a good storyline, this is a good match, it's almost like they've stepped up their game in a sense. What do you think? Do you think AEW had a lot to do with it, or had something to do with it, or do you think it's just maybe WWE saying, nah, maybe we should step it up a bit? What do you think about that, Nick?
It's both, really, right? Like WWE, so like competition, makes you better, right? Like they could run out the same shitty product that they was running out because they're the only product in town. You know what I mean? At least on national audience, like you could go watch Impact or something like that, but there's nobody that compares, and really still nobody compares to WWE, the production level, right? Like AEW can put on great matches, but nobody puts on a better production as far as like trailers and music and all that. WWE's tops of any sport, really, as far as production wise.
Top shelf.
But yeah, it's the best in the business, and you catch it at every WrestleMania, right? Like you see it every WrestleMania and this and that. But I think AEW, and then the switch of Triple H kind of taking charge and making moves, and Vince kind of hopefully goes away for good, but it seems like he's dibbling his hands here and there still, and you always know when a Vince decision's kind of being made. But it's a little bit of both of AEW stepping up their game, and then WWE saying, hey, we're still cream of the crop. We have to get above and beyond some of these things to show that we're still king of the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right. WWE for a good while also is still going to reign supreme. Like they have everything. You said it yourself, the production value, they have, the history behind them. I mean, they've got the biggest wrestling library in the entire world. Like there's nothing comes close to it right now. So they have the history behind them. I know AEW is just, I mean, they're just starting out. They're still brand new, and there's still a lot of room to grow for AEW to even be near to that level. But I mean, even thinking about it, these are the I guess WWE. I don't know if they consider them like the minor leagues of it, but they're bringing out the best, and they're still bringing out some competition for WWE. You said, like you said, Nick, competition brings out the best in all of us, and I think that's a credit to what we're seeing in the WWE product right now. I think does have something to do with what AEW is doing. One thing that I wanted to talk about also, I think we were talking a little bit off air about Jungle Boy. So I saw his promo that he did on Dynamite. I think it was Dynamite. Yeah, it was Dynamite.
Yeah,
man, I gotta say, I like the fact that they're doing something new with the Jungle Boy character, that they're making him a heel. I like that. I do. The thing that gets me, and I read a lot of the comments because I went back to look at the promo that he cut, his first heel promo or whatnot in AEW, and I went back to look at it, and I was reading some of the comments. Some people really praised him, but I didn't. To me, it was like it was very. I felt like it was it was a very forced. It felt very like a very forced promo. It didn't, because it doesn't. It didn't seem like it fit him. It's like he was trying to get that shock value. Even some of his words that he used about him. What did he say? He was
having the hot bitch.
Yeah,
It still has the hottest bitch.
I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, and what I got from that, it wasn't like whatever.
Yeah.
It was more like, you ever have that buddy in your group that like brags about like getting with somebody, and they're like, bro, I just whatever. And
Yeah.
usually you're like, yeah, bro, good job, right? You're happy for your boy. But sometimes when like it felt like yeah, I got it. And then like the reaction that your friends give him was like, all right, cool, like, good,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. So what?
Great,
that was cool when we were 18. Yeah, it was cool when we were 18, not when we were in our mid 30s.
Right. And that's what it felt like. I was like, great, that's amazing. I'm happy for you, but it didn't. It wasn't like shock value, and I think that's what he was going for, that shock value. And even like in the audience, I don't think really many people responded, I guess, the way that maybe he was expecting with the shock value. Because when I heard it, I was like, okay, that was my immediate reaction. Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't captivate me. How did you feel about that?
I'm very similar. Like Jungle Boy, like again, it doesn't help he can't talk he's not a great mic worker, right? Great in the ring. Can't cut a promo really to save his life. Like,
right.
It's something that he's got to continue to work on to get better at. He can go in the ring with the best of them. And I don't understand like turning him a heel now. We just had like this big blow off with him and Christian Cage, and he was kind of at the top. Why not continue this? Oh, you almost had it belt. You almost had this belt. And then finally, maybe, he finally gets it, like, and continue this baby face. Now, some people are going to tell you he got stale, which will then get him a villain to sink his teeth in.
Right.
They talk about the 4 pillars in AEW, right? Like Jungle Boy, MJF, Darby, and who's the other guy?
Not Hangman.
Spanish God.
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara. So three of the 4 are now heels, right? Like they're right. Sammy Guevara's kind of almost turning babyface here a little bit. We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah.
But 3 of the 4 are now heels. Darby will always. Jungle Boy, I felt like could always just have been a face, just much like Darby. And but they just had to give him something to sink his teeth in. Why not continue? Kind of use the Cody Rhodes phase. Hard times, and let him finish this story. We all bought into him and fell in love with him during this Christian Cage and how he was bashing Jungle Boy's dad and this and that. And now all of a sudden you're just turning heel because Hook has a belt that is a made up thing, really. Like nobody even really gives a shit about. Like that doesn't make sense. It'd been different if Hook was like TNT champion or something like that, but just for him to go after the FTW belt that nobody is, it's not even relevant.
It's not even recognized that thing as an actual championship. Like in AEW, it's just like, here's a belt that Taz had back in ECW or whatever, or not even that. But it's like, why you're making a storyline based on he wants this belt that isn't even recognized or hasn't really even been competed. Like I don't like that to me that didn't make sense. I was like, what are we doing here, guys? Like that creative aspect of it didn't sit well with me either. I was like, I was more confused than I was accepting of it, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, and people were behind Jungle. I mean, he always did the song. They had that. So like sometimes that can still work into his, favor. I was just, I don't know. Well, I have to see it. Like maybe just take some time for Jungle Boy to sink his teeth in being a heel. I don't think it's going to work out very well for him.
Yeah. We, my buddy and I were talking on the way back again from the Astros game. We were talking about the Jungle Boy thing, and he's like, "Well, if you think about it, Britt Baker at the very beginning had like some kind of, I guess, stale promos herself, and then she got better. But the thing is, her wrestling didn't get better, so it didn't really match with her with whatever she was saying. So like, her mic skills got better, but her wrestling wasn't up to par with what she was, with the type of promo she was cutting. So because she became, very predictable in that aspect. So it's like, okay, I see what it is. So but his in-ring abilities, I like it, but hopefully with time he can develop to be a better, like I want him to deliver like a good promo. I still, like I'm not saying like MJF quality promo delivery, but eventually he'll I feel like he'll get better, but I'm looking forward to
at least it's got to make you believe, right? Like you know what I mean? Like,
I don't believe him. I don't believe him. That's the thing. I don't believe him. I'm not sold. I'm not sold on heel Jungle Boy just yet. I'm just like, okay, you're just talking mess. That's all you're doing. Like you're just talking trash, trying to get the audience against you, which I mean in wrestling fans aren't dumb. Like whenever you're the bad guy, okay, you're the bad guy. Unless you're like super over with the crowd, you can't be a heel, then like a LA Knight type, then I could see why. But this guy, there's no way he's in that caliber, so it's easy to be a hated character, to be a guy that gets booed. Just have fun with it, roll with it. MJF did it. He stays in how do you call it? Is it kayfabe? I think I'm using it correctly. Kayfabe the entire time. Yeah. He stays in kayfabe the entire time. So. Have fun with it. Go do some stuff.
And here's back to if I had the pin for MJF, right? Or not MJF, but Jungle Boy. This is I would have had him beat up Taz. I'd have had him beat up Hook. And then why? Why did you do that? Well, I'm jealous. You got that title. Your dad's sitting here every Monday, every night watching you. My dad's my dad is not here anymore. Like I hate everything about that.
Yeah, make it come from here. Like, make it believable. Yeah. Like, honestly,
what I mean? I'm so mad. I'm mad that my dad isn't here and your dad is. Like, you got everything and you just walk around. It was given to you. You don't care. Like, because Hook has that I don't care personality, right? So, why not use that and go get, and use that fire and become and that's almost then it's like a face/heel promo at that time,
it almost makes you kind of go over with the fans, and it probably makes you even go over that plateau that you were with the fans if the fans really go behind you on this thing. Fans will let you know whenever you're over or not, and
exactly.
And I think that would be a great one if he really puts that effort into it. I think that's a good one, Nick. You should start booking you should start doing creative for AEW, Nick. I got into that story too. I was like, I see that. Bring the Luke Perry thing, like my dad's no longer here. Your dad's here. You're all privileged walking around. Well, guess what? Just go all in, man. Like
exactly. Right. Well, AEW, I'm up for sale, baby. You know what I mean?
Reach out, AEW, if you're listening. Reach out to your boy Nick Bodkins here. He's in there at Nick at Bodkins_Nick. There you go. Follow him. Let him know what's up. Hire him up. But yeah, man, no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I think he just needs to. I think that would help elevate that character if he puts like some more heart. I mean, WWE uses, real life stories.
And so does
In this month.
AEW, right? Like that's the
Right.
reality we're in now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and go with it. Like, I mean, look what happened with the Eddie Guerrero thing with Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Nobody forgets that. Like it was recent. Obviously, they got Rey Mysterio's and the Guerrero family's permission to use like Eddie's name in those ways, but it worked.
Yep.
It made it more personal. And it made people get engaged and believe in the character more, because that's what I think. That's when Rey Mysterio. It was like 06. I was in high school. This was like when Rey Mysterio like won the World Heavyweight Championship, and it was meantful. It was meaningful. Like it was, people were tuning in to see that. And so, yeah, I agree with you. I think if they elevate, they use some of those storylines, like you said, some of those elements around Jungle Boy, dude, or I'm sorry, Jack Perry, then I think it could solidify him to a whole new level.
And maybe he just needed to lose the Jungle Boy moniker too, because it's hard when you're a man and you're being called a boy still. So like, I think some of that will happen, and we'll see what Jack. And it could take some time for Jack. Like, I mean, a guy that took a while to get going is, look at Dominic Mysterio, right? Like, and now look at him. He's probably one of the top heels in the industry. Yeah,
organic too, like organic. Like there's I was talking again. I talk to different people all the time. One of my buddies was talking about how the Dominic Mysterio, and then even Jim Cornette said the same thing. And I always say this: you can't always agree with Jim Cornette on everything, but he has certain points. And we're talking about how the Dominic Mysterio thing came to effect, and how he's such a natural heel. Even Cornette likes him too, which is funny to say that, but it's odd. Yeah. And I was like, you like him too? And it's like, yeah, because he reminds you of a guy that everybody knows, that's just whiny and you just week after week, that he's not gonna maybe win some of the matches or all that, but the fact that you just want to see him get beat down week after week, and then he comes back and complains about how hard his life is, and even though it's really not. Like that's a guy that you could keep watching get dropped or something. Like that's engaging. Unlike whenever they give you these types of heels that really can't cut a promo or anything like that. And that's an organic heel. That heat that Dominic has, that's that organic heat. Let me ask you this though. Do you think that it's time for the Judgment Day to split up and see what they do, or do you think they should still keep it going and try to milk this as much as possible?
Man, so I guess we can talk. This kind of ties in with the Money in the Bank, right? Like I was kind of surprised. I called it. I said it's going to be Damian Priest. I knew it wasn't going to be LA Knight because that's what everybody wanted.
Yeah.
If we know one thing, the WWE doesn't give us what we want all the time, right? So,
and it's fine, because it keeps you coming back for more.
Yeah,
they don't give it all to you at the beginning. You got to earn it.
Yeah, so I knew LA Knight was that. It's like that's what everybody wants. They're not going to give it to him. I thought maybe I was hoping not Jake Paul, but luckily they didn't go there either. So they went Damian Priest. I thought Priest was going to cash in. I thought Finn was going to win, and then Priest would cash in on Finn, and then that would kind of start the turmoil. But we're kind of seeing that now a little bit. I think Finn is going to go on his own and get JD. I don't know his last name, but the Irish guy was in NXT, and him and Finn are good friends in real life. I think it's like JD McDougal or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I could see Finn joining them, and Judgment with Priest and Dominic and Rhea kind of staying in the Judgment Day. But I don't know. I just haven't bought into this. I used to be a big Finn Balor fan, but I just can't, for whatever reason, I can't just like buy into him in this Judgment Day character or this heel character. I don't know if he needs to go back to being face or the demon or what. Like I can't quite buy into what he's doing right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make you want to like just buy a ticket straight to go say, "Oh, I want to see Finn Balor." Like I don't. I was happy that Damian. I was about to say Damian Pierce, Damian Priest won it. Actually, I was satisfied with that one. Like you said, everybody knew that everybody wanted LA Knight to win it, and we all kind of if you've been watching WWE for the last forever. Know that they're going to milk it as much as it possibly can. He's eventually going to be the guy that has. I think he's going to be the guy that takes it from Roman. That's what I'm thinking.
No, I don't
LA
think so.
You don't think so? Oh man.
No.
Okay.
No.
I think he might be the guy that takes it from Roman. I don't see Roman like exactly going for the record, because goodness gracious, that would be what, another 2 years or something like that with the belt.
I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes still, probably next.
Cody?
Yeah, I still think it's going to be Cody at WrestleMania or something like that. Next this like fit in Philadelphia, this coming WrestleMania.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Or maybe one of the Usos. I just don't. LA Knight's has not been involved nowhere near this bloodline story. I think he could take the USA title from Austin Theory at SummerSlam, and that kind of starts, his momentum.
Do you think he kind of goes into the natural way of, how like the superstars did it, like let's say Austin started with the Intercontinental or the US.
Yep, I think that's what we're going to see.
The traditional way. I could buy into that. I see that. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I could see him in Theory. Theory's kind of been just this since for a while now. It's just been like this. He's just there kind of guy too. You forget that he's the US champ at times.
Right.
So I think LA Knight could make that more relevant.
Make him a little relevant. Okay, I can see that pathway. Yeah, like doing it the more traditional. Hey, you got to earn your way to the top, kind of. Just like Austin, just like The Rock did.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, on this one, and I'm kind of going all over the place, but let me ask you this. So recently, there was a few comments said by Kevin Nash, Big Daddy Cool. Who basically said that LA Knight is just a ripoff of The Rock. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on? Do you think he's right? Do you think he kind of went overboard on those comments, or what do you think?
I mean, it's all similarities, right? There is some similarities, but in every wrestling, there's similarities. Hulk Hogan, I read a thing today. It's like, you look at wrestling. Hulk Hogan took his stuff from superstar Billy Graham. There's, this person, Kane took moves and things like that from The Undertaker, right? Like, there's things that, Ric Flair took his persona off of people and added
Marty Rogers.
Different wrinkles in, so there's just there's a case to be made. We see it now, and even now, Kevin Owens is a little bit of the Stone Cold-esque, right? A little bit. Does he talk like The Rock a little bit? Yeah, but that's, so what? If you grew up or we grew up, right? Like, he's actually, LA Knight's like 20 years older than us, but hey, if I was a wrestler now, I would probably talk like The Rock too, because, well, I don't know. That's the wrestling I grew up watching. So, like, what got people over? Talking a lot of shit. So, I think is there similarities? Yes, but it's not a total ripoff. I mean, Kevin Nash should know that I'm sure he's ripped off people's moves and things like that too, and did different things. Like, as wrestling fans, we're used to it, right? Like, they tried to fool us that people were different. People were Razor Ramon and Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Vin Diesel was it, and then even Kane was fake Diesel.
Yeah.
Had it been there, and then like the other guy, like.
I remember
Razor Ramon, fake Razor, and then you had fake Diesel, which was Kane. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, WWE. A lot of people saw that. Like,
So
you can see through that, y'all. It's not. Yeah, exactly. So no, I agree with you. I think that everybody. A lot of people can call it ripoff. It's like it's getting inspiration to build your character. Everybody takes a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I mean, for me, my teaching style, like, I took inspiration from other people too, in order to see what it's what you can take and what you can create out of it. Like, now, if it was like if I saw LA Knight with a Brahma bull on his shoulder, with with the tights that have like his name in the font of The Rock, and doing the eyebrow and talking about, do you smell what LA Knight is cooking? Then I could agree 100% with Kevin Nash at that point. Like, I that to me, that's a direct copy of The Rock. That's a copy and paste version of it. If you were to say, hey, I want The Rock. Oh, well, we got The Rock at home, and then you see a picture of LA Knight. No, then that would be the exact carbon copy. I think wrestlers borrow how do you call it? Certain things, certain styles
Yeah.
from
Moves
everybody.
to everybody.
Moves.
Exactly.
Think about
It's
Ray,
yeah.
yeah, Ray Phoenix, inspiration from Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Uh Penta, you name it. Like there is all these wrestlers that you see now either in AEW or WWE. Like all of these guys were inspired by wrestlers that either came before them, um, and in some way inspired them, and they took something that they did originally and then made it their own. To me, that's not a copy. That's just either I mean, you can call it an upgrade or something or whatever, but you can, making it your own. I think that's the way I see it. He made his character his own, and I think just as Dominic Mysterio is organically a heel, that's how much I see LA Knight being organically just a guy that's gotten over with the fans.
Right. Yeah. He just got
And
over. Like he just
he
got
just got
over,
over.
and he was kind of over in NXT a little bit, and then obviously
Mhm.
the call up where they tried to make him just a manager and that stupid
Didn't work.
maximum model thing. It was
Hey,
dumb. And
it's fine, but creative doesn't always have it. I mean, they
yeah.
made Stone Cold the ringmaster, and where was that going?
Yeah.
If you ever seen some of the documentaries with Steve Austin, like when he was trying to come up with the name Stone Cold, they had something McFrost or Ice Dagger or something, like all these ridiculous names that they took to heart because they wanted something to be like a Stone Cold Killer or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, but until something simple came up with the name of Stone Cold, and it had to do with tea or something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly, but and so I mean, it's just when things are made organically, like how The Rock got over with people, that's great. Stone Cold got over organically with people. John Cena was kind of forced a little bit, but then he just kind of took the ball and went on from it.
Yeah, I think John Cena was over with Thugonomics a little bit, and then when he came in with the C Nation, and then was like that got over, but then it just got crammed down our throats, and now kids ate it up, right? So the WWE was, they took off with it because he could be the new franchise guy, and all the T-shirts and everything else.
Merchandise. He was selling the merchandise.
Yeah,
sorry, 1 second.
The Make-A-Wish too.
That's right, the Make-A-Wish stuff. By the way, shout out to Rafael Chakin. Hello, Just fans. Salute to you too. Thank you
for my brother.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. I mean, it drives sales right now. I'm sure LA Knight's driving some of those sales right now. Come on, he just dropped a new shirt that says "Yeah." Like if that's not a marketing, well,
only him and Little John can get just over, right? Like only
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I haven't heard anybody say yes since Little John. So exactly, it's yeah. So it's great marketing, really. They just released a shirt of it. I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna go over with people. So, all right. So we talked a little bit about Forbidden Door. We talked about Jack Perry's promo. We talked about Kevin Nash's comments, LA Knight getting over. I wanted to also talk about so this past weekend I saw Money in the Bank. What were your highlights, lowlights of Money in the Bank overall? Like what did you think about it?
So the men's match was incredible. Both ladder matches were incredible. Really, even the women's, it had kind of, shout out to Io Sky. She was incredible. Yeah. The men's match. Looks like we're going to see a Jake Paul Ricochet match at SummerSlam. I mean, sign me up for that. Two athletic guys. You could say what you want about both these Paul brothers real quick. Say bad things about all they want, but by God, both of them deliver. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jake delivers every time he's in the ring. Logan delivers every time he's in the ring. Like you can't fake that. Now, do they have a lot of money to where they can just train their entire life? Yes, but you know what? Don't hate on them because they had a life before and made a bunch of money, and now they get to, they take it serious. Mm-hmm. Logan takes this serious, and he puts on a show every time he is out there. He's incredible. So I always like to give my kudos to the Paul brothers anytime because I'm not like a fan of them personally, but I'm like, hey man, like they can go. Like you got to give them credit, especially Logan in wrestling. Like this isn't easy, and he makes it look like he's natural, like he's been doing this. So I thought that
for a long time,
yeah, the men's was great. Like I said, we kind of hit a surprise with Damian Priest. It'll be interesting to see. And then the main event, man, like this this bloodline storyline is the best storyline in wrestling right now. It's the best storyline in WWE in over 10 years, I feel like. Sign me up every Friday night. If I don't watch it live, I don't really watch it. I'm full honesty, I don't really watch it live. I watch it Saturday morning mostly. But I mean, I am glued in. Like, I want to know I'm a big storyline guy. Like, for some, I just love that. If I can sink my teeth into storylines, like, I'm like, oh man, like, it's just what's going to happen next. And then for Jay to pit for, Roman to finally get pinned for the first time in 3 years.
Oh yeah.
By Jay, that match was absolutely incredible by all four men. Solo Sikoa, who's, still coming into his own, has been excellent in these spots. The Usos deliver every time, and so does Roman. That match and just the emotion every time those guys come out. And back when even Sammy and it was in it too, like all their emotions. You got Paul Heyman and his facial reactions.
Oh yeah, Paul Heyman's great.
Yes, I mean Paul Heyman's incredible. We know that. Like on the microphone, his facial expressions. You listen to anybody that's ever dealt with Paul, like. Obviously not money-wise. If you listen to a lot of people, he owes a lot of people a lot of money.
If you're an ECW wrestler, you might qualify for financial compensation.
Yes, yeah.
Bounce checks, bingo halls.
Exactly. But his mind for wrestling is unlike any other. Like anybody will tell you, they go to Paul Heyman to ask him about a promo. Hey, I'm this, and he'll tell them, hey, no, go this, do this, this, and this. They go out and do that, and they crush it every time.
Yeah.
And that main event is, and I'm now where do they go now, right? Like now Friday night we're getting this Roman Reigns tribal chief judge thing, like I'm excited to see that. Last time we had Sammy on the one time before that. So where are they going to go? Where does this storyline continue to take us? And like you said, who's going to be the person that actually takes the strap from Roman? It's going to be interesting.
What's funny is that if you would have told me like 3 to 4 years ago that I'd be looking forward to see anything with Roman Reigns, I would have called you a liar. Like, no. Right. There is absolutely nothing I want to have, to do with like Roman Reigns. But man, I think heel Roman Reigns has been such a big growth. It has helped them out tremendously to solidify his character because all the time that WWE spent shoving him down our throats, nobody cared for it. That was
nobody wanted to. They were putting him. You're right. They were putting him in all those spots. Hey, you beat the Undertaker, beat Brock, And nobody, it was because I think it was John Cena all over again, right? Like
it really was. It was a John Cena system all over again, bringing him up, a few moves here and there. And if you think about it, it's almost like the Stone Cold system. Stone Cold literally had about 5 moves in his repertoire. If you really think about it,
especially after his neck got broke, right?
Like exactly.
Stuff, yeah,
exactly. And so it's always fun. Even though I'm a big Texas guy, I still like. And I love Steve Austin. I love the memories that I got when I was a kid. But I still, to this day, I still consider The Rock, being more entertaining in that aspect because he had more moves. He improvised stuff. And Austin, as much as I love him, he had about 5 moves in his repertoire. Well, if you look at John Cena, he had almost the same thing, 5 moves. And Roman Reigns, the Superman punch and whatever,
the spear.
Like he had like it's that same system, and so he was brought up that way, but nobody was buying it. And then once it became heel, like I said, when you become heel, you have more. It feels like you have more area to play around with, more elements, everything. You can use anything. It depends on how creative you can be, I guess, as a heel, to use that. And honestly, I'm sure putting him with Paul Heyman, that has helped them just develop to what he's become now. And so, honestly, I think that was big help. I now enjoy, like I said, watching Roman Reigns in this storyline. I'll agree with you. It's been the most interesting storyline WWE has had in a long, long time. Like I said, if you would have told me 4 years ago that I've been looking forward to see something along with Roman Reigns, I would have called you a liar. But now it's like I love seeing this. I like to see the Uso, the whole bloodline just go down in shambles, you know?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So again, this is me talking to my buddy again. I know we have like a whole conversation. I need to bring him on. We were talking on the way back because we were like stuck in traffic from the Astros game over here, and we thought, you know how they break up tag teams all the time, and one guy makes it and the other guy doesn't really.
Yeah.
So, do you think that eventually they're going to start breaking up the Usos, like the Usos? In my opinion, I think if they do that, I think how do you call it? Jay Uso is going to be the guy. You know, the Shawn Michaels, the Edge, the Jeff Hardy, you know, and then Jimmy becomes the other guy, the Christian, the Matt Hardy, the Marty Jannetty, so to speak.
As long as they become Marty Jannetty, those other two games you're still all right. But you know, they had successful.
Nobody wants to become Marty Jannetty. Like, that guy's insane. But yeah, you know what I mean in that aspect of like, you know, you have if out of two tag teams, one of them usually ends up shining more than the other, and I think if they do that, it's definitely going to be Jay that shines over Jimmy. As much as and I like both of them. I think both of them are great, but I think that's what may happen. Do you think they're going to go in that route, Bodkins, or do you think they'll keep them together for a good while? What do you think?
So it's funny that you asked that. I was listening to an interview they were doing with Ariel Helwani. It's on YouTube. And they said they have not been pitched that yet, but that is actually their dream. Their dream goal is to wrestle at WrestleMania. Maybe not main event. I don't remember I can't remember if they said main event, but to wrestle each other at WrestleMania.
Main event, yeah.
You know, at WrestleMania, get their dad involved, get Solo involved, but that eventually that's what they've talked about, you know, that they want to do that one-on-one, you know, at WrestleMania. That's their dream. That's their dream. So eventually I think it's going to happen. I think you're right. I think Jay is going to be the superstar. And then you'll have Jimmy there as well. But, you know, I think you're going to see another tag team that could be like that is the primetime. Is it the primetime players? We want the smoke guys. Is that the primetime? No, they're not the primetime. What's their names?
You're talking about the Street Profits?
Street Profits, yeah. And you know, Montez Ford and
Montez Ford.
Yeah, he's he can go. He'll be a star, like a single star. You could see that, you know. So
that's usually how it starts sometimes with some of these guys, like Michaels. I gave you examples. Michaels, Edge, you name it. Even I remember my buddy laughed when I said Bubba Ray and
Devon.
Yeah, he's like, when that happened, I was like, come on, when they introduced Batista, you know, like
Bully Ray,
Reverend Devon, Bully Ray, like
Bully Ray,
I mean, even though that was more like in TNA Impact or whatever, but nonetheless, I mean, they still kind of split them here and there. I mean, JBL and Farouk. Yeah,
JBL. Yep, JBL went on to have a successful solo career. Got rebranded a little bit.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think once they break up that tag, I think that's what it's going to be. And honestly, my if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd put my money on Jey Uso as being the one that thrives, and Jimmy being the one that kind of hopefully he does. But you know, wishing the best of luck for you, Jimmy. But if not, history repeats itself, bud. You know, like that's how I see it. All right, another tag team that I want to talk to you about and see what you think. How do you think that they're being utilized right now? Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Do you think are they growing a little? Do you think their storyline's going a little stale right now?
Yeah,
do you think
I do. Again though, like who have they? So they had like this huge blowout at WrestleMania, right? Like finished the storyline, and ever since then they just been middling, right? Like it's this person here, this person there, this person here, this person there. Like when are they gonna get, like they haven't got that team to in that storyline to sink back into, right? Like who are they're just kind of there with the tag team champs. Like they've cooled off immensely since WrestleMania. So who at SummerSlam, who's going to enter the program with them, right? Like who are we looking at tag team wise that can bring out them and start a storyline with them? You know, they've had this Imperium thing for a little while. Is it going to be them? I don't really think so, but who can be that team that can go into a program with Zayn and Owens, because it's not there right now.
Yeah. I want to see like which tag team can step up and give them something, because right now, yeah, I do feel like Owens and Sami Zayn are being underutilized, and I just hope that it doesn't like ruin those. I mean, it won't ruin the characters, but it will. I just don't want to like just have them sit there, you know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I got you, Nick. And so that's what I'm thinking. Like I want WWE to use him a little bit better, you know, and
Yeah.
obviously, you know, I maybe they'll do a thing where they go against each other as well, you know.
Eventually, I think, right?
Yeah,
Eventually,
it's gonna happen. I'm just pinning tag teams against each other.
Well, those guys are makeshift anyway. They've been up together. We've seen them wrestle against each other, so it kind of makes sense that, you know, KO to me is always a natural heel. You know, to me, so that's it. Let me ask you this before we got to get out of here. I was listening to a podcast and it made me think. I was like, well, I'm gonna ask you to this. If me and you were gonna start a wrestling promotion right now, who are the 4 guys that you would pick, you know, for the next 10 years to be the faces of our company?
Faces of the company.
Yeah,
4 guys.
4 guys for the next 10 years. You got to have young guys because you can't have like older guys. You need young guys.
Okay. Definitely Jay Uso is going to be one of them.
Ooh, okay.
I would take Jay. Wait, does it matter? Does it matter from which brand?
No, all wrestlers in out there. Doesn't have to be WWE. You know, anybody.
Got it. Okay, so Jay for sure. I'm sold on Jay. I saw some sparks in him, and you know, in Money in the Bank, I'm like, oh, he can be a superstar. So Jay for sure. He's got youth. I honestly, I'm gonna go off on a limb here. MJF. I would take MJF as one of those guys. MJF, Jay. Let me see. Ooh. You know, and I want to say LA Knight, but I know that age is gonna get to him. Like, I really want to say LA Knight, but if let's just say if you're gonna go for the next 10 years, I'm like, do I?
He's in his 60s at that point in time, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I mean, maybe as a mentor or something like that. Maybe in that finally in that managerial term that he was supposed to be. Maybe then if he still got it. So you know what? I'll go LA Knight on this one too. And because you can use him once if he's not able to like perform anymore, then you can use him in that managerial role. So I'm gonna go. So I got LA, J, MJF, and I'm not putting no CM Punk on there. That's locker room poison.
He can't go anymore for 10 more years either. So he can barely go now. I mean, he still does great business, but
gosh, I'm gonna say Dominic.
Okay.
Dominic Mysterio.
All right, so here's my 4. All right, I'm gonna say MJF to me automatically. He's the best heel in all of wrestling. I'm gonna say Cody Rhodes.
Cody, that's right.
I think he's over right now and has got a great mind. I'm gonna say Will Ospreay at 3 is my he's young and entertaining. We just gonna get to know him a little bit more on a national level. So there's 3, and I'm gonna say my 4th one is, can Roman Reigns go for 10 more years? I mean, it could be Roman.
Yes, he could, but I would keep him in that heel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It don't have to be faces. Just 4 guys that you're going to build your company around.
I could see that. I could see a Roman. Before we go, because I know you got to go shortly. Let me ask you a question. And I've asked people this question, and I've got mixed answers. So I want to hear what you think. What you think on this case? Are you sold 100%? Are you sold on Seth Rollins? Does this guy make you want to buy a ticket to go see him?
Yeah, that was going to be my other guy. That the 4th guy. Rollins. Okay. Yeah, I love Seth. I think he's so great in the ring. And now his charisma. So before, when they tried to make him the face, like he's had when he was like Monday Night Rollins, and he got a little stale. But now I'm all in on the crazy ass outfits, the laugh, everybody loves the damn
Yeah.
Let them play my music. I'm all in. I've always been a big fan of Seth Rollins, even when he was, backstabbing the Shield, and the guy can go in the ring with the best of them. Loved him on that adventure he had with when him and Triple H had that match at Mania a couple years ago when he came back from his injury. I enjoy it. I enjoy Seth Rollins. Always have. It kind of the heel turn took a little bit, right? Like when he was doing the Visionary and the weird glove thing, and he's bounced around with different storylines there for a minute. But man, I've always thought he was great and thought you could build the company around him, and he just, so yeah, I'm all in on Seth Rollins. Okay. Seth freaking
Rollins, yeah. I gotta tell you, I'm not so sold on him.
Why?
I just can't. I can't get into his character. Okay, I'll give you an example. His ring ability, it's amazing. I will never complain. His matches are actually exciting to see, so I'm down with that. I don't like the character. It's something about the character just annoys me, and I get it. I get the laugh. I get the music. I get it. Yeah. I just can't. It just doesn't make me draw. It just doesn't make me want to go buy a ticket to go see him. Does that make sense? Something about him just doesn't.
I love it. I would just go just to sing the song. So
yeah, I'll give you an example. When I look at Moxley in AEW, I don't care for him. There you go. That's what it is. I just don't care for Moxley either.
Yeah.
I don't see him as like a guy that makes me want to buy a ticket to see AEW when I see Moxley. And that's kind of like how I see. And I'm not comparing both of them. And it's coincidentally that they were both on the Shield, but it's just the fact that both of them, to me, it doesn't make me want to buy a ticket when I see them. I'm just like, I don't see.
You don't get the draw. You got it.
I don't get the draw. I guess I don't get the draw, and I'm not sold on it 100%.
Yeah.
And those I see. Yeah, that's how I see. Seth Rollins and WWE. I get it. I get the whole thing he's doing. It doesn't draw me. It doesn't draw me in. It doesn't. And it feels a little forced. I like the music. I like all that, but I just doesn't draw me in. And I think somebody said, I can't remember who it was, Ross. I heard it somewhere. It's like right now, a lot of guys are very popular because, and I'm not saying Seth is this case in this case, but there's a lot of guys in WWE and in AEW that are popular only because of their entrance music.
Yeah.
And
once you get past the entrance music, can they go or can they talk on the microphone? Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll agree with that. Yeah. I don't think Seth is like that. I think he got a lot over because of it here lately, but we've all known he can go for years in the ring.
Yeah, no, he can go. In-ring performance, I love it. I do enjoy those matches, but the character he's playing right now, it just doesn't draw me in. I just don't see faith on it. Just like how I see Moxley's character, I'm like,
that's who guys. That's who John Moxley is, though. He is in real life,
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, I liked you better as Dean Ambrose. That's because you were quiet. Like that's how and you were in a better stable. Like that's how I see it. But Nick, I know you got to go, but I do want to thank you for joining me today. And I know it's been a while. It's been a long time coming. And I appreciate you joining me on the show. I put a disclaimer, and you were tamed. What happened? I was expecting the Nick.
I told you I was going to leave. You didn't get me angry. I didn't have to drop the F-bombs or anything. I mean, like wrestling, you didn't push none of my buttons.
I didn't push the buttons. You were.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I am severely disappointed right now.
Hey, sorry. No, you ain't down with that. I got 2 words for you.
Nah, man, Nick, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I appreciate you, brother. I gotta have you on for more of these wrestling shows, and of course, once the NFL season starts, we're bringing you in for more stuff. So
yeah, again, I'll probably be cussing then. The Packers make me angry. I don't really get angry at wrestling. I think that's also like it's
like your calm, like it's calm.
Yeah, it's just entertainment to me. So I don't.
It's just silver lining on that one. Yeah. Nonetheless, man, again, like I said, thank you so much. And I do want to give a big shout out to Let's Talk Sports. Dan the Man Harris, I appreciate you. Thanks for everything. Sideline Sports, thank you guys for partnering up with us. Thank y'all. My friends at the Hardcore Sports Network, Mitch, thank you guys so much. And thank you for everybody else that joined us, gave us some comments, gave us some shout outs. I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all. Oh man, I'm gonna be out in Argentina next week. So
woo!
I know, down in South America. So we'll see if I'm able to get good internet service down there. We'll do episode 4. But If not, then we'll do episode 4 when I come back to the States again. I'll be out for 2 weeks. So, all right, guys. See y'all later.
Peace. See you guys.
Oh, thank y'all again. Big shout out to Nick Bodkins. Please check him out at Bodkins Nick. Excuse me, at Bodkins_Nick. Give him a follow. This guy's amazing. As always, thank you, Nick. Appreciate you. That'll be it for our show today. Peace out, y'all.